It's the end of the year, everyone, and now we're getting Ultimate Paladin Roy. If you've been watching our older guides, you might have heard that we said save for HK Roy and stuff like that. Here in this guide, you'll find out just why he's goated. Oh, and please join our Discord server. We do events, we chill, and we'll answer all your questions you have on these guides. Just join the link in the description below. I also kind of just want to call him UPS driver Roy though. Anyways, starting with the jolly old slots. We have a 6-star physical slot where putting his true weapon is usually always going to be the best option. Little spoiler is that it can increase his arts by 200 and another arts by 2 per second. And in some situations, you might run a nuke equip for like a 60% water res down or something. Our second slot is a 5-star defense slot where you can run whatever sustain equip you need here, whether it's for earth or fire res, anything could go here. For general usage, you could run Iris's Change of Pace or True Flambardo. Our third slot is the 4-star heal slot where running any cleanse equip like Relic Force characters or revive equip like Blessed Necklace is the way to go. At Limit Break 7, he gains a 4-star support slot, which, like Shiro, isn't a terrible idea to Limit Break 7 him. But most of the time, the heal slot would be more preferable. Moving on to his skill set. His skill deals 3000% water physical damage and heals his own status ailments, except for Faint, Seal, Freeze, and Paralysis. It can help out against surviving burn and poison damage, which is nice. Sadly, no arch gen on skill, but yeah. Him being unable to cleanse any of these other status ailments isn't surprising because you can't even use your own skill if afflicted by these ones. His arch deals 23,000% water physical damage and has an 80% chance to ultimate freeze. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to gamble a 4 out of 5 for a freeze. Ultimate freeze is good as it's essentially just a 100% crit res reduction. Plus an immobilize. But a lot of bosses have freeze res, and unlike Amelia, he doesn't provide anything extra if he does freeze. So I wouldn't pop this often, if not at all. His true arts deal 60,000% water physical damage, and for 30 seconds he increases water allies' break power by 100%. This is quite good, as breaking is pretty important in a lot of content, and 100% is pretty good. Note that this is exclusive to water units though, but even then, Roy has some nice break power. His skill in arts doesn't have much, but this true art has 3000. His super arts deals 180,000% water physical damage, and for 20 seconds he increases all allies' arts by 7 per second, and physical damage by 150%, with a break power of 4000. Be aware, this is a type B arch gen, so your team options are going to be a little limited. 7 arts per second is pretty good, and 150% physical damage boost is kind of the average, but it's still nice. If you don't need the break, you could honestly spam super art only. His Phantom Bullet deals 250,000% water physical damage, and for 100 seconds he reduces enemies' physical resistance by 120%, and when used for the first time, he increases all allies' arts by 200, and the second time, he heals all allies' HP by 100%. Limited usage of 2 times per quest. Really good nuke for Phantom Bullet that can deal a lot of damage. Unfortunately, the physical resistance is less than a unit like Uzu and Yuzuhara, but the 200 arts and multiplier make this really good. The heal even has its own niche in some hard content too. This also has a break power of 8000, which is quite a bit too. What you can do is pop the first Phantom Bullet and just super art spam. Use the second Phantom Bullet either after 100 seconds of the first usage, or when you need that instant clutch heal. Onto his abilities. His first ability is when set as the leader, he'll increase all allies' physical resistance by 50% for 30 seconds at the start of the quest. If you plan to nuke physical damage bosses early, and it has a nuke, Roy can literally keep you alive, and if you add on Shiro or Beta, you basically can't die for the first 30 seconds. His second ability increases his own arts by 4 per second when above 80% HP. This makes up for the lack of early self-sufficiency, and lets him passively gain some arts when he's above 80% HP. His third ability increases his own Paralysis res by 80%. This is nice, as it's one of the things he can't cleanse on the skill, but freeze is still going to be a slight problem. At last, we arrive at his true weapon. 5-star True Gladius. It deals 10,000% water physical damage, and for 10 seconds, it increases the user's own physical damage by 50%, and if the user is a water unit, it'll increase their own attack by 50% for 10 seconds on a 50-second CT. This equip has a god-awful uptime with quite a mediocre effect, but it's the ability that makes this equip really nice. The first ability here increases his own arts by 100 and at the start of the quest, and arts by 2 per second. This will let him get his Phantom Bullet a lot faster, while also gaining a self APS of 6 with his second unit passive. The second ability of this equip increases the user's accuracy by 10%, which has its niches. For evolution, he requires 220 Frostbright Soul Gems, which for beginners is actually quite a bit. And unascended, he's actually hot garbage. But thankfully, when he officially releases, there will be a max elixir at day 10 on the login, which I 100% recommend using on him if you're a beginner. For Crest recommendations, I'd recommend attack up and arts gauge up on most occasions. Some other options you could run would include like equip CT, Magic Circuit, Promise of the Funeral God, and Curse Frost. But for some niche builds or special builds, the Crest Break Power, Whirlwind, Shattering Gale, and Crimson Terror are also good. As for team recommendations, Mono Water Human is his best team, with Shiro, Hoka, and Jay. You could run some other units if you're missing one or two. Beta can be added if you're missing Hoka or Jay. Summer Bazette can be used instead of Jay. Or really any physical water DPS unit can be used instead of Jay. If you are missing Mono Water in general, you're in luck, as he isn't completely mono water exclusive, and it works well with the general units like War God Fen and literally anyone else. Overall, Ultimate Paladin Roy is a really good unit, though he may lack crit or defense ignore. Units like War God Fen and Hoka make up for what he's missing. He's a really strong unit that can act as a DPS, Arch Gem, Burst Heal, and Sub DPS, which makes him usable almost anywhere. Should he summon? Yes. You must summon him, even though his banner is in an All-Stars banner, which means you have an incredibly low chance to obtain him. You'll have 8 guaranteed multis across literally an entire month, and since every Ascended unit before Beyond Human Pinnacle of Fate Emperor is on this banner, you can get some crazy good stuff if you're lucky. If you've saved enough gems to pity, you're in luck, as you can pity him at 30 multis. So yes, do your summons, unless you don't care for all the units, or if you own all the units. So if you enjoyed this guide, please leave a like and sub, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!